A lot of people say, oh, I just want to sort of, they're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves. And the real way to do it is you got to write down what the fuck you want and then go after it. If you decide, I'm going to get down to bang, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run a marathon in less than 5 hours, I'm going to, you know, whatever the fuck it is, you got to write that shit down and go for it.
I realized that God wasn't going to give me a get out of jail free card. And from the time I was born and to the time I was 19 years old, my life had these hurdles. I constantly hit obstacles, obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And I had to figure out how to manage suffering, how to deal with it, because it could be part of my life forever. At least that's what I thought. So in order to deal with it, I had to be able to conquer it and overcome it and deal with it and know that in this suffering, there has to be some kind of growth. With every obstacle, I look at it as friction now. Without friction, there is no growth. You have to have friction in your life to grow. So I start looking at all these different things versus the woe is me mentality. Like, oh my God, look at my life. My life's so fucked up. I come from this fucked up family. I'm being beaten. I'm being abused mentally, physically. I start looking at it as the perfect trial ground. So I had to flip it upside down and say, okay, I'm suffering tremendously, mentally. Use this to your advantage versus your disadvantage. So that's what I did. Versus looking at it as like, oh my God, woe is me, I'm never gonna get out of here. I looked at it as, okay, hang on a second. If I can overcome this, if I can find some power in this, some way to get through this, that right there will be the fuel for the rest of my life. And so I found great strength in suffering. Great strength in it because why? Through all of that, it started to callous my mind over the victim's mentality. This whole thing about suffering, yeah, it sucks. Really bad. Really, really bad. But we all live on this side of suffering. On this side, this nice box that's very comfortable, that we know when everything's gonna happen. We're in it, it's good. We know how everything's gonna turn out. It's those few people who are willing to go on this side of suffering. And once they get through that, ask him how he feels now. His mind, how far he grew. In that short period of time, he grew so much more than the normal person because he was willing to go outside himself. Because on the other end of suffering is greatness. It's not over here. So a whole bunch of us, we put ourselves in this great box. And in that box, there's no suffering in it. So what we do is we shelter ourselves from greatness. So for me, for instance, I was 300 damn pounds at one time in my life. Sprayed for cockroaches, made $1,000 a month. I was living in that box. I would sometimes look over the box and I saw hell, suffering, storms, avalanches, tornadoes. I don't want to go over there, but I knew if I can get through that shit mentally, on the other side was a 185-pound person who's a Navy SEAL, went through Ranger School. Only person to do this, only person to do that, only person to do this. But that's through all that.
What you're looking for is in the will of trying and not giving up. The love of your dream is in your heart. One day you'll look back on your life and appreciate the struggle and have nothing but gratitude for everything that happened along the way. And you come to recognize that in return, you're given the chance to earn the greatest edge of all, and one that can never be taken away. To anyone who's struggling early in the morning or late at night in pursuit of your dream, struggles that many will never see, and to any leaders out there who believe in someone who doesn't yet believe in themselves, keep going. Keep going, because will always finds a way. I want to live a great, impactful, purposeful life, and I want to impact people from the lessons that I've learned and see if people can learn anything and try to relate it in their life some way. I've been fortunate to learn the right things, and what I believe to be the right things, what worked for me. So I wrote them down because people ask me all the time, hey, I want to do it. How do I do it? What should I do? And I said, okay, well, let me think about it, and let me articulate it in a way that people can understand.
You really want me on the team. What's your approach to recruitment? You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else.
Right now, after watching that, I love those videos. I try to watch those a couple times a week. And the reason I started the video that way, just to elicit a little bit of an emotional response. Those videos have helped me through some of the darkest days of my life. And I was lucky enough to realize, I don't know when it was, but I realized that before I could elicit change in my life, change the things in my life, I had to change the way I think. And watching stuff like that helps me. I hope you got something out of it, because a little bit of the science behind it, it helped me essentially create new neural pathways into the ways I viewed myself, viewed the world around me, and the way I looked at and felt about creating change. And I'm not sharing that to impress anyone. I'm just sharing that to really kind of impress upon you that kind of the alchemy of that journey, and going through that, I feel like has allowed me to speak on these subjects from a place of greater truth, depth, and understanding of getting out of your own way mentally. For me, just a small example was like I injured my rotator cuff playing football in high school, and so I would limit myself on certain exercises like pull-ups, for example, or like power cleans and like stuff like that. And it was finally just do what you know, regardless. If it now listen, if it gives you significant pain while you're doing something, obviously there's a difference between like they say, being hurt and being injured. That's obviously an injury, okay? But conquering those mental obstacles, like Goggins was talking about in the intro, it's A, incredibly motivating, and B, you start to build this momentum. And for me at least, I started to see how like those limiting beliefs were not only existing in my quote unquote gym life, but in my real life too. And so it's incredibly empowering, I think is what I'm trying to say. Now, let me digress a little bit. We'll get back to the actual workout. So this system is kind of built on four principal ideas. German body composition training, okay? Time under tension, intermittent fasting, and some sort of mental sustainability element, okay? And I don't want to get too far into the weeds as far as like the nuts and bolts of each one of these principles, but I will just speak briefly about a couple of them. As far as German body composition training goes, this is really more about efficiency work. Anyway, time under tension. You'll see in this program, we do stuff like isometrics, drop sets, and really, again, going back to affecting change on a cellular level. There's ample scientific literature out there that shows not only German body composition training, which I will soon just abbreviate GBCT, and TUT for time under tension, has an increase on protein synthesis, especially after your workout. As far as intermittent fasting goes, I want to play a quick clip of Dr. Eric Berg, who, by the way, has an amazing YouTube channel. I will link his channel and this video in the description below on my YouTube channel. Let's have a quick look.
Let's talk about what happens on the inside of your body when you're fasting. So over here we have a start of a fast, and we go 24 hours, 48, and 72. So there's a lot of really magical things that happen when you fast. Our bodies have developed over a long period of time and have adapted to starvation many, many times. So we have all these unique proteins that get expressed or turned on that have to do with your brain doing better, the different parts of your body surviving better. Our bodies have not adapted to the frequency of eating like we do now, like every 3 hours. So right around 12 hours, we get this spike in growth hormone. Growth hormone is the anti-aging hormone. It's the main fat-burning hormone. It's the hormone involved with healing joints, and it's involved with protein synthesis or making different new proteins. Some people take growth hormone, get injected. I don't recommend it, but they take it to help heal certain parts of your body. But guess what? Fasting will trigger it automatically. So just by the fact that you're fasting, you can increase growth hormone. And of course, exercise will also increase growth hormone as well. So it starts about 12 hours and it increases as you go on and on. Now, at about 18 hours, you start developing something called autophagy. Autophagy is an interesting thing that happens with your body where you start recycling old, damaged proteins and microbes as well. One type of protein would be the advanced glycated end products, which basically when you combine glucose with a protein, it becomes very sticky. So let's say you're on a high carbohydrate diet and that sugar combines with your own protein in your body, and that starts to glycate or just kind of destroy some of the proteins in your body, and then they don't function anymore, and they get sticky and they clog things up. Well, guess what? Your body will start cleaning all that up and turning these damaged proteins into new amino acids where your body can use them. Amyloid plaquing, which occurs in the brain and other parts of the body, is a type of protein that can be cleaned up with autophagy. So it's any type of cellular proteins that are not working anymore in your body. Autophagy will start cleaning that up and start to renew the tissue. And it starts right about 18 hours and it gets more and more and more as you start fasting. And in about 24 hours and a little bit longer, you start to really deplete this glycogen reserve, this storage supply of glucose in your liver. So the more that the liver is depleted with glycogen, the more you're going to be running on ketones as the alternative fuel. And if you have a fatty liver, for example, your body will start using that fat and turning that into ketones. So your body is finally able to start tapping into this stored energy, and you're running more and more on ketones, which is a superior fuel. And
here, but just to kind of boil it down, think of it as you're layering these concepts on top of each other to generate the maximum results. Here you've got my measurements. Now, I had to take July off of last year because of COVID protocols. So my first month was I was kind of spinning my wheels, and I've adjusted this program accordingly. But what the numbers tell you here is, I mean, you can just see this was my beginning body fat. This was June 30th of last year, 16.5%. I was at 175.5 pounds. Okay. After the first, 34 days, I reduced a little over 1%. And then I really started getting into it. That's almost, about a 45% reduction there, if my math is right, just off the top of my head. And then this is where you see the biggest jump, those last 2 months, 4.7%. What this is telling you here is I started with 82.5%, 82.5 pounds of lean mass. And as you can see, my lean mass was increasing. So guys, if you're looking for a workout program that's going to deliver legit results, I would love the opportunity to take you on as a client. Everything is done digitally here. I created a quick profile for myself as a client so you can get a quick little look. You can do your goals, do metrics, progress pics, all this good stuff. This is kind of what it looks like on your end whenever you want to go in here. All the workouts are emailed. They're also held in the True Coach app. So if we just go here, check out this workout. They all have videos next to them. I am in the process of updating my own content, but it just takes a while to compile an entire library of exercise videos. So for the meantime, I will be relying on some of these True Coach videos, but they're pretty good. So you can see here, it's got a demo. You've got your specifications as far as rep range, rate of perceived exertion, all that good stuff. You can enter your results. You can take pictures. It's pretty dynamic, and I'm going to be using this at least for the time being until I can eventually build out my own app and move forward that way. But please feel free to reach out if you guys have any questions. Again, like I said, I'd love the opportunity to share this with you. As far as price goes, I got a couple of different membership breakdowns, and you'll be able to see that once you email me and I send you a link to True Coach. All right, Joe, I know that was kind of a long video, so thanks for sticking with me till the end. If you have any questions, all my contact information is down there at the bottom. I truly, truly believe in this program, in this system, and now I want to share it with everyone else. Hopefully we can get you guys the same results.